Happy Friday, everyone. It's Mailbag Friday. Got a neat question here from Susan, and here's her question. She says, my family and I are recently converting to the Catholic Church from the Assembly of God. I am not sure if we are truly converting or finally obeying God's call on our heart to come to the church. We have always agreed with principles and teaching of the gospel, but we felt awkward not knowing how to behave like a Catholic in Mass, what prayers to say and when to kneel, when to say and with your spirit, and that shamed us from coming to Mass. And coming from the Assembly of God, how does confession work? Okay, a lot of questions in there, Susan, but I thank you. First, let me just say, thanks be to God that God's at work like this in your life and that He's drawing you towards the Catholic Church. That's a beautiful thing. I hope that you are experiencing that as a culmination or a fulfillment of the good things that you received in the Assembly of God Church. My first advice would be keep pursuing the truth wherever it takes you. Keep pursuing it. Keep reading. Learn as much as you can about what the Catholic Church teaches. Read people who don't agree with the Catholic Church. Work through the arguments as best you can if you're struggling through the intellectual arguments of the Church. Secondly, be patient with yourself. One of my heroes, John Henry Newman, who was a convert like yourself, as it appears, said, a person convinced against his will is of the same opinion still. It's beautiful, isn't it? It's the way that our will and our heart plays a role in our intellectual conviction. Give yourself time, especially if you've been having a hard time at Mass. I'm sort of a little embarrassed to hear you say that you felt shamed at Mass, not knowing when to stand and kneel and what to say and all that. I certainly hope that's not because of the people around you. It's probably normal that the Catholic Mass is a strange dance, and it takes a while to learn those dance moves, those steps. I would say find a good missalette, or what they call an order of Mass. You can print that out online. There's apps you can have on your phone that just show you the prayers, when to sit and when to stand. There's one called iBreviary, which I use. It just tells you how to do the prayers of the Mass. So your last question here, you mentioned, how does confession work for someone coming from the Assembly of God? Well, it works the same way it would work for anybody who's coming from a non-Catholic Christian denomination into full communion with the Church. You work with your local parish to do the steps to prepare you for the great sacrament of reconciliation in harmony or in concert with your profession of Catholic faith if the Lord takes you down that road. Another pro tip is to prepare for that. You can find an examination of conscience. So you can Google it even, and there's some good ones out there. What that does is just help you review your life so that when you do go to your confession, you can have your little notepad and paper where you've written down, here are the areas in my life where there's been sin, where I need the Lord's mercy. Sometimes if it's written down, it can kind of make you relax a little bit. And then, of course, the best part of confession is the absolution. When the priest now receives those and in the person of Christ unleashes the very mercy of the Lord Himself through the prayer of absolution, which is just a liberation. And it sets you free to now live the Christian life in a more unfettered, liberated way. So, Susan, congratulations. I'll be praying for you, and keep the questions coming. I look forward to welcoming you into the Catholic Church, and hopefully the not-too-distant future. Keep us abreast of what's going on with you, and have a great Friday.